Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. So this is it. This is where we wrap up the turbo build. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. But yeah, this is where we wrap up the turbo build for the Integra. So a lot of you guys are saying stuff about sidewinders and intercoolers and stuff like that. Mind you, this will have room for improvement. Again, not a max power guy. So as long as my log manifold works good, we're good there. Intercooler definitely gonna need an upgrade. But again, this is what I had laying around, so we'll work with it for the short term. But other than that, let's finish this thing up. Let's go over what we got left to do. So we're picking up directly after the last video, and I mean, that only makes sense, right? So obviously all the charge piping is done. We went over that, I believe, 2 videos ago. Oil cooler setup's all done. Water lines, everything got done. So yeah, the last thing I did was went and dropped off my parts for Cerakoting. So here is the downpipe looking nice and fancy. That is actually not Cerakote, that's just the heat reacting. So that's really cool. So this is a 2000 degree Cerakote, and it's done inside as well as the outside. So yeah, we should definitely be safe here. So this piece here I did not build on camera. This is my heat shield. I just did this on my off time. I was just bored one evening, so I got that built up. And then the manifold with the turbo is right here. So yeah, we're looking pretty solid. This thing's done inside and out as well. So the only issue that I ran into with the Cerakote is I had to do expedited, so I paid more. But that's not the issue. The issue is that I was told after the fact, because I had only done Cerakote once before, but this Cerakote is a 7-day cure time. So the guy spent a whole day throwing it in and out of his oven, hopefully speeding up the process. I don't know what happens when Cerakote fails. I'm assuming it probably starts flaking. But yeah, so today is Saturday. I don't have my watch on me, but today is Saturday the 7th, I believe, of May. So I'm gonna assemble everything. We're gonna get this all bolted up in the car, ready to go. The only other thing that I have to do is I did go and get a Mac valve. So we are doing electronic boost control, because while I was at Full Race Motorsports here in Phoenix, I was getting a Hyundai 4-bar map sensor, because I figured I would probably need one since I'm running 11 PSI. The K series map sensor is only good for about 10. So those two things are getting changed out. These are just the fittings for it. And then I also went and bought a new O2 sensor, because my O2 sensor's been bad since day one of my swap, and it's caused intermittent limp mode starts and check engine light for it forever. I just deal with it because my tune is going off the map, and I just deal with the slight richness of it. But you get the point. So let's go ahead, let's get everything into that car and get this thing ready to fire up. All right, so everything's, I think for the most part, pretty much buttoned up. So I gotta wait to put the wastegate on until I get the vacuum lines, well, the dump pipe hooked up, until I get the vacuum lines for the boost controller plumbed in. But I mean, overall, all the oil lines are hooked up, the water lines are hooked up, everything's tightened down. Yeah, I mean, O2 sensor, oh, the O2 sensor that I got was the wrong one. I think that one was the primary. I must need the secondary because the connector was different, so I got to take that back and swap it out. But other than that, I can still put the old one in there just to plug the hole for the moment. But I mean, I think I might be ready to prime it, because I'm going to prime it full of oil, so I'll disconnect the injectors and the coil packs and just dry crank it for a minute. But I think we're ready to prime it and then give it the first start, because I can start it as is. Obviously I'll have oil feed and everything, and then I just obviously won't be hitting any boost, and I'm just gonna idle it and leak check it. But like, I think we're good. I just unhooked the injector clips. Oh wait, well, let me do that now, because I just unhooked the coil pack clips. So now the injector clips are good. So now I'm gonna dry crank this, get some oil built up in those lines and in the turbo. We'll fire this thing up, see what happens. I am so anxious. I mean, I shouldn't be as anxious as I am. I'm more just concerned because I know how disappointed I'm gonna be and how frustrated I'm gonna be if it just starts leaking everything from everywhere. So let's just get it over with. Freaking car doors stuck because the freaking car's on stands. It's always scary. All right, let's freaking do this. Hopefully I've even got enough battery life for this, but oh wait, my key's not in the trunk. Right, there we go. Everything's lighting up. All right, well, give her some dry cranks. All right, some more. Pumping nice and healthy. All right, give it another little bit and then hook everything back up. You guys ready? I'm not. Plug everything back in and then check first thing just for some leaks at my main concern locations before we get ahead of ourselves and try and fire it with some leaks. So alright, we're looking good at the oil feed there. So let me crawl underneath quick. We'll check underneath. Alright, we're looking okay up here. I know you guys can't see much, but this little adapter fitting is of concern because the way it tightened down. I don't think it's stripped, I just don't think that O-ring's gonna do a very good job, so that's definitely a concern area. So we'll see. Everything else up here though, looks okay. Oil feed port there, oil filter's tight. Alright, let's freaking fire this thing up. The battery just died, but right before it started, but we're alive. Alright, let's watch it for a minute and see what happens. Move this away. Looking good. Oil pressure's looking good. All right, I think we're okay so far. All right, the oil temp gauge is starting to go up, so that's good. The car is starting to slowly get to temp, so that's what we're doing, is I'm trying to get the car to temp just to really check for some leaks. And yeah, we're slowly getting there. The only concern is that the turbo, the compressor wheel doesn't seem to be spinning as much as it should. Like, I don't know, it kind of wants to slow itself down and kind of stop for a second or something. So I think there's an issue there, but let's just wait a minute, see what happens. All right, so I think so far it was running really good. The only thing, I just did some quick Googling, and it sounds like vacuum could be the issue for the turbine not spinning, and then some of people say a lot of turbines don't spin until throttle's applied, which it would spin fine by hand, and then it would, like right here, like spin slowly fine. So I think it may have just been vacuum. So I noticed that the AFRs were super lean at idle, so they were supposed to be normally like 14, 15. They were like high 16. So I just disconnected this vacuum line to the fuel pressure regulator because I noticed my fuel pressure had changed for having the vacuum, because on the K-Series you're not normally supposed to hook those up, but you hook them up for when you're seeing boost pressure. So I just capped each line off really quick, and I'm just going to test this and see if that changes it at all. So it's basically back to how it was ran before. Now let's fire it back up again and see if that helps. Empty. My ignition's going. This is great. My ignition switch finally just took a crap, because it's been going out for a while, for a couple of years now, because it's gotten to the point where it wouldn't engage the starter anymore. That's why I wired in the push start a few years ago. And then the last like year I've had to kind of tinker with it to get it to actually engage. Like normally when I turn the key forward like that, it wouldn't work, so I'd have to kind of like give it a little jiggle and turn it. But yeah, now it's like nothing at all. Like no matter what I jiggle or shake or I just wanted to fire it up again. Shoot. Alright, so I got this thing finally sorted out, started chasing some wires, and it turns out that the battery, like the lug terminal where it goes to my fuse box down there for my battery relocation little distribution box down there, it just vibrated loose over the years. Just crimped it back together. We got power again. So, what do you know? Let's freaking do it. Yeah, buddy. Fuel pressure looks like it's up. Since I unhooked that vacuum line and plugged it back up, AFR looks a lot better, because if you remember before it was like 17. Granted, it's a cold engine again, but yeah, that's a lot better. So I'll have to figure that part out on the dyno. So for now, I'll just leave the bolts and the hoses. But she's alive again. Alright, so we are into the next day now, so we should be seeing a Doge here pretty soon. Hopefully get this boost controller wired up and installed, and then yeah, like you guys just seen, we got this thing fired up. So far so good, no leaks. There's a very small drip coming from the bottom of the exhaust turbine housing, and I was able to snug up the bolts that hold the housing on just a little bit, since I obviously had it apart a bunch. But other than that, everything seemed to be okay. As for the turbo wheel not spinning, I think it was because I had the stinking vacuum plug on the compressor. That might have something to do with it. So, yeah, we'll take that off, but I'll be getting plumbed right back in later. So hopefully that's all good. But after doing quite a bit of talking with other people, with similar setups, turbo setups in general, whatever, externally gated setups, it sounds like me doing the 11-pound spring is going to be probably a little overkill. So I am just going to put the 7-pound spring in. So I just took the wastegate off of the car. Kind of a fight. Wish I would have plumbed it a little bit better, easier to access. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take this thing off really quick. We're gonna put in the 7-pound spring. Since we are doing the max solenoid boost controller, I can always go higher if I want, but I can't go any lower, as I understand, than the spring pressure itself. So if that's the case, and 11 pounds is gonna get me a lot more than I'm actually thinking it will, I want a little bit less to be able to tune for more on the dyno than just have way too much and not be able to turn it down really much at all. So, and because we might even be still running out of fuel. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to get bigger injectors in general, because I thought the 650s were gonna be enough, but I don't know. I guess we'll run in the 7-pound spring, see if we max out the 7 or the 650s, 750s, whatever they are that I got. And if I do, then I just, you know, deal with what I got on the dyno, can tune for safely. But yeah, anyway, I gotta look up the spring chart. I forget exactly which one is which. I know it's usually the softer ones, but yeah, I'm gonna look it up really quick and we'll open this thing up. So I think Doge should be on his way. So I am making a little bracket to mount my boost controller, trying to dig the bolts out of my pocket. So I went to the I went to Shoppers really quick, the little bolt store that I nearby. Got a couple bolts. I'm just gonna bolt this up, pretty simple. This just bolts into the firewall, and then this just bolts to that. Got some lock washers and stuff, but this is gonna be as far away as I think I should be safe for the heat from the turbo. So yeah, I'm gonna just bolt it up. Oh, you know, it sounds like Doge is here. You can hear his car from a mile away. Shiny boy. Alright, got her mounted up, so now we just got to do the plumbing and 2 little wires. So thankfully these wires, I positioned it as such strategically because I knew there was this hole there. I did think about that, so that is good to go. Now I just got to find a vacuum tee. I got a handful of them laying around here. I just got to figure out which one I need, because we got to go down to the wastegate way down yonder, and then we got to plumb it up to here. So as I understand it, we're going from like basically this line here, we're going to put a T-piece here. One's going to go to the bottom portion of the wastegate, which in this case, because it's upside down like a bat, is going to be the top portion of the wastegate, and then the other portion is going to go to that vacuum nipple, and then this side is going to go to the top / now bottom portion of the wastegate. And obviously this is just atmospheric, like venting, so I think I got it sorted. I don't know, we'll find out. Doge is big chilling.
Stays like this that make me wonder how the hell people decided to live out here. You know, 150 years ago, no air conditioning, having to stay in the shade to survive. Like,
yeah, I mean right now my watch tells me it's like 93 degrees.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's gonna get a lot worse, but I still can't even, you know, think about like August. Like, I'm not ready.
That's why I'm trying to get all my stuff, all my ducks in a row right meow.
Yeah.
This very memento. I gotta go to the parts store and get some more vacuum lines since I don't have enough and a bigger T. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'm gonna gap these plugs real quick to 25 thousandths. Because that's what my tuner said to do, so. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, I might have to pull out the feeler gauges because this thing is either worn out or these are all pre-gapped to 25 thou. Okay. Alright, so still gotta go to the store and get some vacuum line, get some lunch and stuff, but having an issue with the K-tuner trying to figure out how to actually operate the boost control. So we're still wiring it up, but almost done, and I don't know, Doge can't find it, I can't find it, so
that's why I'm here. You're welcome.
You can't even find the TV remote.
He's here to tell us ghost stories.
That's what I get paid to do. Talk shit.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are. I text Brian Robinson, which is a buddy of mine out here that works at K-Tuner, helps design all the stuff. So, and I'm also downloading the newest firmware, update, whatever, software, I don't know, version of it. So hopefully it has more easy to use tables, if, I don't know, because there's an option for boost cut, but it doesn't tell you what pin to use for it, and I don't know if that's technically boost control, because technically I guess when you're peaking boost it's cutting the, I don't know, maybe it's a terminology thing, but either way we're still waiting on figuring out what to do for that side of it. But at least mechanically everything else is good to go once I hook up those other 2 vacuum lines. And yeah,
this is good lighting I'm getting in. Look at that.
The good halogen lighting that makes you look like 12 years older.
Little accent lighting.
Yeah, that's what you need. This is a
you're just
dramatic Sadowski.
It's not doing anything.
Look at this. Look at that.
Just blinding.
That beautiful. If it hits my head, I'm suing.
Sue his dick.
I will. You'll never have another one again.
Because it's too busy being buried in your mom.
I don't know. Taylor has it right now in her purse.
No, she's not even here.
Exactly. It's not here right now.
It's not even here.
It's not even here.
Shut up. That's not what I meant. Trying to bleed it. Oh. I was doing so good until I grabbed the camera.
He's gonna shoot it like an early 2000s skate video.
Nickelback playing in the background, just like he always has.
It's taking a lot more than I thought.
Let's focus. Just trying not to bust up on it.
See that newfound strength in his arms? Look at that. He'd normally be all over the place wobbly with that that radiator fluid. Starting to be a gym boy. M-I-S-T-A.
I missed it. Maybe he's like, Mista, please trade me for something clean unmodified.
That's what he says. I put no trades.
What you got going on, Mr. Side Hustle?
I ain't got nothing going on. My business dealings are private. I just get paid to talk shit. That's all I'm doing here.
What's your for sale list right now? Tell the people.
Well, if you've watched our series, you'd see that there's a silver EJ Coupe for sale, finally. It's as buttoned up as it's going to get. I almost lost it.
Safe to start,
I would have so hard.
Well, you're about to look something else. You're about to look something else.
This place is a fucking work hazard. Calling OSHA immediately.
This is S ownership. Just like that, and then that's it. Yeah. And then you just put the whole wallet in there.
We got some T-fittings and some more vacuum lines. So let's go ahead, hook up this last vacuum line real quick. And so after doing some talking, so my buddy Bryant that works down at K20, so if you guys actually also, I forgot to mention, he also made a YouTube channel. So he is one of the smartest dudes I know. He can do literally everything on a car. He can do fabrication, wiring, programming, engine building, transmission building, all of it. Like, he is the jack of all trades. I strive to be like. But he finally made a YouTube channel. So I believe it is called Voided Warranties. So go check it out. He is a great dude. So anyway, but yeah, so I texted him. I was like, hey, blah, 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 what's going on? So basically, simply put, there's two different map styles on, like base map styles on the K20. So it's basically just one of them is for naturally aspirated cars and the other one is for forced induction. So on the boost map ones, you have more options like in the drop down parameters. So I told him that we pinned that wire to B21, which according to the forums is the pin for auxiliary input basically, and so that's what he said is good. So we're good to go. He said when we get to the dyno, load up this map and, you know, account for the injectors and stuff, and then just start tuning from there. So should be good from there. So I'm gonna go hook up this vacuum line real quick. There we go, looking pretty decent. So I may go get another length of line that's a little bit longer, but like I said, I just gotta go to the parts store tomorrow, get that fitting on the turbo there that's just a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's it. This thing's wrapped up, and I think I already mentioned it, but if not, then for anybody wondering, I do plan on doing a catch can. I'm gonna save up probably next payday and get the level 7 performance one, and I do have a catch can one of you guys had sent me that I'm gonna mount up somewhere over here. And then as for the reservoir, Doge has one of those little like eBay bracket things that kind of replicates like the OEM little thingies there, and then I'm just gonna make a tab and hang it off of here. So those two things are getting addressed, just not right this minute. I'll be able to make it through the dyno just fine without the catch can. So yeah, don't worry about that. But we are good. We are ready. The thing's wired up. It's got power. Our wastegate's wired up. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead, bolt up the dump tube, and then I'm gonna just throw some heat sleeving on those wastegate lines down there really quick, and this thing's like totally golden to go. All right, so it is now after work on Monday. So this is the day before the dyno. So what I got here is the proper size and you know, vacuum thing for the turbo, and then the correct oxygen sensor, hopefully. So the difference was the year and the car. So I thought because RSX engine, I need the RSX sensor. Turns out my harness is for an Accord sensor, so that's what this is, because the plug primarily, and then the wires, I guess, the way the ECU reads it. So let's slap these in really quick, and then so the way I'm going to do this is I am going to drive the car to work tomorrow, because I do work tomorrow being Tuesday. And then my dyno is basically at lunchtime, so I'm going to just disconnect one of the charge pipes and drive it like that, and it's fine, because then obviously the charge pipe just acts like a very long intake. So I'll just unhook it from the turbo itself. Gosh, this car feels so low to the ground right now. Since it's been on stands for almost a month. So right now I'm just babying it up to the car wash, just making sure everything's good. And I'm just gonna do a really quick rinse off so it's not super dirty. But yeah, I don't know, something's funky with the brakes. They're super squishy, and I think that leaky caliper is really leaking right now. So I can't see. You're good. Turbo a little bit already. Because I'm super anxious and this stuff just stresses me out, I'm just making sure everything's good. The Cerakote really stinks, and I know it'll take a few heat cycles for it to actually like finish baking and burning through. I mean, the turbo blanket probably smokes a little bit, but otherwise, so far so good. My brake pressure came back a little bit after a few pumps. God, that really stinks. Like, I don't know. But otherwise, we're doing okay. So you can see I got the charge pipe disconnected right here, so that way I'm safe. I'm not building any boost, and at least I'm not building boost into the piping. So right now, this whole piping setup is just acting like one big cold air intake. So I think we're good. Gonna continue to just baby it just through the drive to work tomorrow. So yeah, let's wash this up really quick, and we'll end this video out for you guys. Car made it back from the car wash, and it's a little bit cleaner. I mean, I didn't bring a towel to dry it because, you know, I don't know, wasn't thinking. I just want to make sure the test drive went okay and smooth. And we did golden. So the turbo does make some pretty cool noises if you just get into the throttle a little bit. Even though I do have the charge pipe disconnected, obviously the turbo's still spooling. Just oof, that Dyson vacuum cleaner noise is what I definitely miss. So I am just beyond anxious and excited for tomorrow to see what we can do. But again, this is not a max power setup. If it was, I wanted to build a log manifold, and I wouldn't have done half the stuff I did. This is a reliable, supposed to be a reliable, simple, quick spooling, plenty of fun setup. So throw down in the comments below what you think this setup's gonna make, because I legitimately have no idea. My ideal number is between 320 and 350, so that way I can still keep the power down. It's plenty of fun. And if I'm lucky and I have my gear stuff calibrated in the ECU, maybe we can set up boost by gear. But I'm not holding my breath on that, but that'd be cool. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video series, and in the next video, you guys will be seeing this thing on the dyno, and yeah, I don't know. Anyways, guys, thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you have considered subscribing by now, because I try to do stuff like this all the time. I do lots of turbo car work for other people's cars, because, I mean, working on other people's stuff more than my own. But anyways, that's just how life goes. So do what you love, forget about the rest. If you want to support the channel, Big Cartel, I have a PO box you can send stuff to, please. And then yeah, merch and stuff. Thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.